Okay, so it's 2025, you're running ads, and you don't feel like you're getting the return on investment that you feel like you should be getting. You might be running an e-commerce store, maybe a software tool, anything where you need an ad funnel. We're going to go through a 48-hour process which you can put your business through and instantly save yourself thousands of dollars. So if you're already spending money on ads, this is going to be something to pay attention to, and right after this video, you can hop off and make few changes. I'm not selling anything. I just want to put good value on advertising and start good discussion around how to push ad dollars out. If you already have a business that's scaling and you want us to slash your budgets for you, go down below to conversionwin.com. But if not, just keep watching. We're going to talk about things to look for in your ad account, ways to scale, and just generally in 2025 why you feel like ROAS is tanking even if it's not. So the main thing is you are blaming the wrong things. You're coming into your ad account, you're getting a certain amount of sales in your actual e-commerce side, your ad account is reporting a certain metric, and you feel like there is some sort of value, but you're blaming the wrong thing for not getting the metrics that you're set out to get. So when you have a good, return on ad spend, obviously you should be scaling, but is that really the ad set that is getting you the results? People love to blame bad creatives. All the time I see, if I just spent more money or production on my creative, maybe it would result to something better. Now this is the case if maybe you're a bigger brand and you're looking to scale already, you have profitable ways of converting customers, then your creative becomes very important. But if you're still a small store and you barely have a few hundred sales in your database, you should not be worried about the bad creative messing up your ad funnel. You probably have a lot of other problems before it comes to massive amounts of creative failure. You should be able to sell your product regardless, even if you don't have a world-class creative. And the fact is 90% of D2C ads are just going to flop. It's part of the process. You can't deny this. You can't look this. You just have to embrace the fact that every 9 out of 10 ads you're just going to end up turning off. And that's just part of your scaling process. So keep that in mind. The numbers speak for themselves. Don't blame the wrong problems in your ad account for ad failure. It could be that the ad has been fatigued. If you really have pushed enough scale, you've pushed in through that funnel, maybe you really did max it out, but I highly doubt it. And if that's the case, you probably wouldn't be looking for ways to save a few $1,000s on your ads if you've already maxed out an audience base in any product. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of room to scale in every audience base, and don't blame creatives. First, look at your own data. And when you're looking at bleeding, I'm just going to hop right into it. The first thing you're going to want to look at is just shit ROAS spenders. Just go look at your main metric. If it's ROAS, and I'm talking about e-commerce stores, ROAS is going to be one of the most important metrics, your dollar on dollar return, and you want to make sure that you are keeping it above your certain threshold. So the first thing, before we even get into data tracking, just go into your ad account and look at ad sets and even specific ads that have a ROAS below your set threshold, and just turn them off. If they're on for any reason for more than a day or two, just turn them off. This is going to save you thousands of dollars, first thing. And you could justify it by, and I have an entire video about how people justify the continued spend at a mediocre ROAS in hopes of it rebounding to an original level or some false positive that they had encountered before with that ad set. Just turn it off. You're going to save yourself thousands of dollars in the long run. Just don't hold on to ad sets where you feel like they may get future returns, so you keep spending on them. One of the biggest killers in ads overall. So just watch out for that. Don't overlook it. And now, main thing now, we're going to get into what you're looking for in this 48-hour period. So you've opened up your ad account. You've already burned a bunch of the ad sets that have a shit ROAS, or if ROAS is not your main metric, and I'm always going to be speaking in terms of e-commerce to make it as relatable as possible. But if your main metric in your ads are something else and you are collecting leads of some sort, then this could look a little different. But in the same way, have a threshold and be strict on that threshold, and save your money fast by adhering to those thresholds. So open up your Meta account and check if the pixel firing is matching with your actual payment processor. When you have 5 sales from the ad set, are you processing 5 payments on your payment processor side? So look at a total number of sales on your Facebook and in your payment processor, and see how much of that can you match up. Now this is where it's going to be very nuanced for every business. You're going to have to combine that data together to have a good picture of your attribution, to have a good picture of where sales are specifically coming from, not just in a general sense, but more so if we have 50% of conversions coming from this ad platform, how many of those are exact and reported to the same accuracy as your payment processor. And this can get confusing if you have several ad traffic sources and you're all firing together to the same website. You're going to have a ton of traffic, and if you're not sorting that in an efficient way, you're going to end up looking at a bunch of bullshit data. So keep that in mind, and you can instantly save thousands of dollars if you make decisions based off of correctly firing data. So check your pixel data and make sure none of your conversions are being mixed up, and fix that. First thing you do is, before you go ahead and make scaling decisions, fix this and make sure you are tracking, every conversion and everything is being accounted for. And I can't stress how important this part is. Even if you don't even cut bad ad sets, just do this. This is more important than the entire video. For example, I want to just highlight, you make decisions based off of, for example, CPA or ROAS. And if your CPA or ROAS based off of your reported conversions is not correct, then you're going to continue to spend on an ad set or cut an ad set that you shouldn't have or should have continued to be spending on. So if you have a very strict ROAS goal of 1.5, you are putting your ad set or source of traffic at risk that is a source of 50 real conversions. You are putting that at risk of being removed from your ad account entirely because of your failure to match your reported and real conversions. So if you don't have a good picture of this platform by platform, you're hurting your own ad spend, and you're likely to run your business unprofitable very fast. So now you've done an entire search through your ad account on unprofitable ad sets and ad sets under your specified thresholds. More importantly, you've rechecked your conversion data and mapped it back to actual reported conversions back to your payment processor. And I can't stress how important it is that it's not a middle CRM platform and you are looking at the final payment processor data and mashing that back up to your conversion data. And in this period, you've already done enough to save yourself thousands of dollars and continue to make good decisions in your ad account, most importantly. So when you see 10K spend equals 30K revenue in your ad account, that should actually be 30K revenue that you've processed. So blind ads lose and tracking always wins. So tracking is king. Make sure you are tracking everything from your traffic to your add to carts to your checkout to your total payments processed. Tracking and attributing customers turns chaos into cash. If you have attribution right, you will be able to scale, and you can never do that if you don't have a good understanding of your traffic data and you don't have a good understanding of which ad sets are actually bringing you in customers. Another thing you can do now is, now that you are actually tracking all of your ad sets by their IDs, go to the top few sets and shift 2K a day to those budgets. Instantly, there's no reason you should be not making big moves in your ad account. If you have a proven ad set, duplicate it, add 2K to that, and see what happens. There's no reason that money that you save shouldn't be redeployed into new ad sets as soon as possible. And if you don't have one that has a favorable ROAS yet, don't do this. Hold on to the money and redeploy it as soon as you can. All right, guys, that's it for this one.